You're listening to the Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we will be discussing Futurama Season 3, Episode 17, A Pharaoh to Remember, with your hosts, Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And I'm Rick Horchie. Joining us today is our special guest, Wilson Rivera. Thanks for being on the show, Wilson.
Oh, thanks for having me, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I hope when you wrote down the title, this is our second attempt at starting this episode, and Horchie forgot to write the title down. You spelled it correctly, right?
Yeah.
F
I like.
it.
You could have just spelled
doesn't
it
have an F.
phonetically.
I mean, you could have, but I'm making sure that you didn't.
That was the only thing I was good at in school, which is the most useless thing you could be good at in school.
Knowing-
Phonics?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Spelling.
figuring out the pH between the F ones. I was pretty good at that too.
So first off, great news today. Our Twitter friend and fellow podcaster from Geek and Sassy, Jenny Smith, sent us a link to a story that all of the episodes of Futurama will be coming to Hulu in a matter of weeks. I wonder if that's the big news that David X. Cohen was talking about during the live read and the release of the new video game and things. But for everybody who lost it on Netflix, it will be back, and we won't have to do secret piracy to make sure that our guests can watch the episodes if they haven't bought them on DVD already.
What do you mean? We just acted out in front of them.
Well, I wasn't part of that because I've been too busy. But do you use a puppet for me or something? Like a puppet of me dressed
We
up
have
like
Chase
a puppet of
McNeely
someone
filling
else?
in for you.
God damn it. So Wilson, I just met you before the show started.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the place I grew up where you now work, Rocky River, Ohio,
I do.
and how much we really just
There's a lot
don't
of
care for it.
Yeah.
But
I was
there-
going to say it oozes with culture.
yeah, or the opposite of
Yeah,
that.
I was
Yeah,
just
no,
going to say it was like the exact
Yeah,
opposite of
exactly.
oozing of culture.
And I mean, and it's not like, let's shit on River or anything. What I wanted to actually bring up was it made me think about this bar I used to go to there. It's since been torn down and sort of turned into another bar that has a lot less character and criminal activity going on it. But it was called Someplace Else. It was this dingy, dirty, like hole in the wall dive with the one window out front was like a porthole that was just blackened with smoke and stuff. You really couldn't see inside. It was all weird wood paneling, but it was really cheap. It was in stumbling distance from my house, and it had like a remarkably good jukebox. Like this is in late 90s Rocky River. They had like Husker Du and Dio and like a lot of really curveball kind of stuff. And it was such a great place to go because for like $20 you could just get like a whole night's worth of entertainment from the jukebox and the bar, and then just get home, get hassled by the police just a little bit on the way, and then, go sleep it off. It was a really great place. And now it's gone, which is how those things go.
Yeah.
The Rite Aid we used to smoke cigarettes behind is a Whole Foods now, too. Because there's some kind of irony in that.
Why did you have to go behind the Rite Aid to smoke cigarettes?
Because we were 15 years old.
I just felt bad doing it.
Yeah,
in front of a
like
pharmacy.
5 weeks ago, I used to just go behind
I
them.
mean, now I'd probably want to hide it if I was smoking cigarettes anyway, because someone my age, really nobody should. It's a terrible habit that I gave up many, many years ago. But if I started again,
You know what's
like post 40, that would be pretty sad.
sad? I've known a few people that post 30 started smoking, like never smoked
That
before, and
blows
then
my
started.
mind.
I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why are you going to do that?
I know a couple of those people too, Tom, and one of them in particular. It's probably the least perplexing thing they've done. And on that note, did you ever notice this? I'm pre-Jumbotron here. Zach Brannigan is in the tubes during the intro sequence.
I think he's been in there.
Yeah, he always
the
is.
entire
He's
time.
always been in there, but I've never noticed him there. He comes right before Zoidberg in one of the things where they're zooming
Yeah,
towards
they
you.
haven't changed any of that at any point.
But I never noticed it.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I just want to say something first before we start. I want to ask Wilson what he thought. I thought this episode sucked.
Yes.
Just in
Oh
general,
my God.
what did you think, like, as far as Futurama episode you see in comparison?
Well, I haven't watched a lot of Future. I'll take that back. I used to watch a lot of Futurama, but I never committed a lot to memory. It was just like on the TV, and I enjoyed the show. But it was never something I became a super fan of. But this episode in particular, I always remember, like when I started watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is one of the boring ones.
Yeah, like we just hit a lull, like the last few, including this one, where for a while, like they were all a bunch of my favorites. And when this one was coming up, I couldn't remember anything from it. I'm like, yeah, it's the one where he's the Pharaoh. And I'm like, I can't think of anything from this episode.
So there's like a bunch of small little dumb stuff.
There's a couple
really
little lines
funny.
here and there, but usually like my notes are like twice this long. And it was just like, all right, this happened. I'll write this down. All right, this
Usually in that sort of instance, we rely on the guest to make it an entertaining episode. So your work is cut out for you.
All right.
It was not
That's
good.
mean. Why would you do that?
You got to pull your
It's
weight.
true though.
You're the guy that does this every week. We should rely on you.
Yeah, but I'm burnt out. We've done almost 50 of these, plus bonus episodes.
That's why we
You guys do bonus episodes?
we always schedule the best guests for the not good episodes because
It needs it. And so I actually, that made me think of something, but just before we get to that, this week's Jumbotron was one of the most fucked up things I've ever seen. It was people skiing off of Bob Hope's head.
toys will be toys.
Is that what it was called?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. They're toys skiing off of Bob Hope's toy head. Why is there a toy Bob Hope head?
Because toys will be toys.
I don't.
Toys
I
just
cannot
wanna have
accept
fun.
that. I can't accept that as an answer.
And
It was
kids in the future are just going to be in a Bob Hope.
But this was
Toys
in the
friends
past.
back.
Nostalgia.
Oh. I mean, it doesn't even match like the head in a jar thing. It's just like, oh, here's a toy of Bob Hope's head, so you can ski off it. Like, just that entire concept is fucked up.
I did not know it was Bob Hope, so
It says it. It says it on the bottom. It says Bob Hope.
I didn't have my glasses on, so I didn't read it.
I mean, like, what if you had like a Nick Cave's head for people to ski off of 20 years from now?
Who cares? What are you even talking about? Like,
I heard you're staring at me with that look on your face, like you're already annoyed. You just wait.
I'm gonna get drunk and yell at you later. That's
The fact that this was regarded by us and probably others as kind of a shitty episode made me just now connect it back to the last episode. We were all like, this one fucking blew, which was A Tale of Two Santas. Both of those have in common that they go to another planet and they become Bender-centric once they get there. Is that a theme as the rest of the show goes on?
I don't know. No, because Godfellas is a Bender-centric episode, and that is really good. So I think it's really good.
But do they
So
do they go to another planet and then it's Godfellas? Or is that all happening on Earth?
Technically, yes.
I don't know. Like this kind of plays into my whole not being a huge Bender fan. I feel like there's a lot of episodes that are Bender centric that aren't that good, and I'm not blaming that character because I've come to learn like, oh, I don't hate that character. Like I kind of like him in small doses or whatever. But this episode, it looks like one of those Futurama episodes or some other TV show where you can tell whoever the good writers are, like, weren't present that week.
Somebody was on paternity leave
and
or
somebody
something.
just like wrote an episode, or a group of people wrote an episode.
They just like had one lying around or something.
That or if maybe it was like, oh, we got Johnny's cousin or nephew or whatever needed a job, and so he's gonna somebody that shouldn't have been and was just like
It's assistant editors month,
and just used like a template, like, well, these characters, and then they do this, right? And there's a spaceship, and it just doesn't feel like Futurama.
Well, there's not a lot like what, and that's the thing. Yeah, that episode is super Bender section, but I didn't feel like there's a lot of anybody else, anyways. Like
in this one,
yeah,
no,
like,
there wasn't. He wasn't really doing anything.
Yeah,
like
he
they
was
could
just,
have
there's
even
no character development. He's just like being a dick the whole time,
and that's annoying. Like
Yeah.
I think that's whoever.
I mean, with some of the jokes in it, like I thought they were pretty funny. Like when they initially got captured, and then Fry makes an observation.
Yeah.
And
Those
is
were
probably
my-
not. Yeah, that's like those little moments, but he's more of a human of a character.
I think
I feel like
sometimes they rely on him being this like they think that him being mean is going to be funny, and sometimes it is. Sometimes somebody writes him as like this good mean character, as like this who's a classic just like a mean comedian or whatever, like
Archie Bunker.
Yeah, okay, yeah, like
Fred
somebody like
Sanford.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Fred Sanford, he's
exactly.
just, like,
and
big
that
dick
works,
size,
and that they'll do this, and just him being mean without there being any actual comedy, like doesn't
Philip
work.
Banks.
He wasn't mean.
I know.
Well, he was kind of like
I mean,
he
when they
was
do it-
stern and
Will
no
Smith.
nonsense.
He was the villain to Will Smith.
I felt like they did it without any like repercussion to his actions, other than his friends were like, "You're a dick."
Yeah, and then
Like,
that too. There
I-
wasn't like anything. Nothing happened.
Bender
You
was
know?
almost too mean in this
I
episode.
hate
And
to
that
break
too
it
was
to
like.
I mean, those of you who think the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was, a wonderful guy, he was kind of a dick to his really generous aunt and uncle. So, like, I think
Well,
they were probably in the
Well,
right.
that's a part of youth is not appreciating. What
Yeah,
you
it was
have.
part of his journey. He was learning, like,
Also,
You
parents
go
just
from
don't
West
understand.
Philadelphia to exactly.
They weren't his parents.
I know, but
They were
parents
surrogate parents.
in general
I'm a
just
parent.
don't understand.
They're
You just
parents.
don't understand.
I understand.
That's why I'll
plenty.
never be a parent because I want to always understand.
I wouldn't opt for calling Uncle Phil Daddy Phil. I wouldn't want to call him Daddy Phil because I feel like Daddy Phil would be weird, and I can't say anything without
That changed
saying,
the whole dynamic of that show.
I can't also. I
sounds
can't
like a
say
Reddit
anything without
subforum.
like if I say Daddy before it, it just sounds creepy, and if I just say Daddy, it sounds creepy. I think
Say it again.
Daddy.
Yeah.
It's really creepy.
Like,
I-
hey,
I'm-
do you want to come to Daddy's? It doesn't
But
sound like
see,
some dudes make it
I'm
sound
not-
sexy, but I don't.
I don't think no.
Yeah.
No. But
Yeah, I feel like
I
even
hear
the ones.
I hear DATTY with you doing lazy T's, and that sounds kind of cool.
Daddy.
Daddy, like
Daddy.
data, but
Oh.
daddy. Like, do you think Data on Star Trek was there like come to daddies? Huh?
His name is Data, first of all.
Yeah, Futurama.
Just wait till next
hang on.
week when you and Sean can talk about Data and Futurama and all of that stuff.
It's
We'll be back next week with Daddy and the boys.
see that I don't know. I there's something there.
Seltzer water down.
There's
What if,
something there.
I got this.
The we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I have a whole thing with Zoidberg singing Danny Boy, and you were saying Daddy, and now I'm just thinking of
See,
Daddy
that part-
Boy.
that part I thought
Oh,
was funny.
Daddy boy.
I thought that part was actually very funny. Like I also like Zoidberg.
So
Zoidberg.
how slow of a news day was it that a municipal pool robbery where only 3 people got robbed is headline news for Linda and Morbo? Like, they're all just sitting around watching the news as like this daring heist, which wasn't. It was just like a stick up. First of all, not that many. You don't go to the pool with all of your latest finery on. I mean, you might have like some nipple rings or something, but you're not carrying around like a lot of stuff to steal when you go to the pool.
That's
I mean,
why his pull wasn't really that good.
Well, he had the entire pool in his magical chest cavity, though, didn't he?
What was he gonna do with that? Why did he steal the
With
water?
the kid, he could have ransomed the kid. He could have bottled the water. He was just wasting it. I mean, just that it was like a bunch of dumb, obvious stuff.
He didn't think a lot of things through.
But shouldn't he though? I mean, he usually seems to have kind of a plan. As impulsive as he is, I mean, he's got computing power.
Well, just even the writing of that, like, what a boring heist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, usually, on the show, they'll do something. It'll be like, maybe it won't stand out, but it'll be something like Bender robbed the whatever thing from something, and like that's funny, like in itself. Like, oh,
But
it'll
wait,
be
it's
some
funny.
Futurama
He's
joke,
wearing
but
an
it's just a fucking
ill-fitting
pool
Speedo
locker
that doesn't cover his brick hole,
It's just I kept waiting
which
for
wasn't there.
the episode to like maybe hit a stride like halfway through, and it's just the whole
It just
thing.
felt
like,
stagnant.
yeah,
It was funny when he just like pushed himself out on the little wakeboard though, with
Kind
the
of.
water.
But like that shouldn't be the best part of
No,
that
there's
scene.
like all like the little things like that are the only thing that I found funny in this.
Yeah, it's like a
the
lot of-
overall like main stuff. It was like the small things like when they get to the planet and there's the 3 booths set up for the slaves, which we can get to.
Oh,
when we
yeah,
get
yeah,
there.
with the
I don't
signs
even
or
remember
whatever.
that part.
Yeah.
So that's
But
good.
yeah, when they throw the funeral and everything like that, that was
that
dumb.
whole scene, and he was just being meaner and meaner.
Except for
Yeah.
Zoidberg.
Like, and it was that thing where, usually they'll have Bender be kind of likable and like he'll redeem himself a little
Oh
bit.
no,
you
yeah,
know?
it was just like having that really shitty friend you don't talk to
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like just experiencing it as an adult
Although
on television.
Yeah.
back when Bender is pushing himself on the wakeboard, Scruffy's line of like, I've never seen him that upset or whatever,
Or at all.
or at all.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
Oh,
That
You guys want to talk about a different show? What do you guys want? Fargo was really good.
Well, so this
now.
is part of the thing that I was wondering about, because where you said there wasn't any character development really.
I felt like there wasn't.
The whole thing of Bender all of a sudden needing to be remembered in perpetuity seemed like, oh, this is a new thing for him that'll probably go away right away after this episode. Sort of like when the Fry and Leela, like Fry coming on to Leela, just sort of got shoehorned into things. Like this seemed like this wasn't just
it was
like
just
a
for
plot
this
point.
episode,
This
but it
was
fits
like,
with his character because he's just all around an asshole. That he's supposed
just
to
very
anything
self-centered.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to run
sometimes
for-
some episodes he's like seeking fame or like this where he's
wanted to be president or something.
No, I don't think there's.
Who,
Then I
Hermes?
thought-
Are we talking about Hermes?
Bender.
Is he in that at all?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hermes was.
Oh yeah,
mentioned
he
in
said
this
that
episode.
he said holy spits or whatever about the Bender's
Heist.
bikini bottoms
yeah.
or whatever. Anyways.
Yeah. I didn't think the attempt to get stuck in a mailbox was all that funny.
No, it
He was
wasn't.
just trying to do like
I feel bad because I feel like I don't know what this episode of this podcast is going to be about.
it. That almost
Like-
seems like a Homer Simpson gag. Like that seems
No, but it would have been done
It would've-
well. It seems like
it
a
would've
Homer
been
Simpson gag
funnier
for
if
like
Homer
season
did it.
22 or whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I just like I'm looking at my notes, and usually it's like, oh, they got to this part and this happened or whatever. But it's just like this happened. Okay, then they go to the funeral and it's stupid and like
as an aside, when he did try and get stuck in the mailbox, the lady who walks by and says, "You're not stuck." I thought she was kind of cute. I mean, like I get that it's a cartoon, but there was something about like her outfit and her haircut. I'm like, if I saw that on a real life lady, I'd probably be like, that's really attractive.
Is this what marriage is like? Is this
No,
I just thought also
There's-
I would have liked if you were like, if I was a cartoon, I think she was attractive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it works both ways. If I was a cartoon, like that would probably be.
Oh, we
like
could get in
my-
a giant discussion if I was a cartoon of what cartoon characters I'd find attractive.
Let's put a pin in that because that might be a good way to fill out this episode. We get to the end and in 15 minutes go, this is a shitty episode. Rollerblade crews, are they still a thing?
Rollerblade cruise.
There's like the breakdancing
I haven't seen
rollerbladers.
anybody on a
I
pair of
haven't seen- yeah.
rollerblades in I don't know 10 years.
Actually,
or-
I think I did recently, or I just went to bed really high.
in
and
Cleveland.
I've had some.
You
weird
fell
fucking
asleep
dreams
watching like some old 90s rollerblade
lately.
movie
just
or
like
whatever.
or watching that one movie with T.I. ATL. You ever seen that one? Him and Big Boy. A lot of
No.
rollerblading in that.
Is
film.
it about Atlanta?
Yes.
How old is this
Oh.
movie?
It's like I think it's mid 2000s.
No, and people were still doing rollerblading in movies. That's the last
I-
rollerblading.
Hopping over
There's, like,
park
Big Boy.
benches and
The last rollerblading movie I remember was that
it wasn't
one where
like extreme rollerblading movie. It was.
but it
like,
was in
I-
there.
It was like roller rink flicks.
I bet there are. We won't name the place that you work at. It is in Rocky River, but I bet there are people that'll rollerblade on in there.
if I didn't work there and I had a plan.
clientele, not staff.
Oh, see, I would.
Just to do it,
Yeah.
to fuck
they
with
have-
the valets.
Not with the valets, no.
Just
I
like
would
you
mess
could
with
like
them. I
roll
would just-
circles around them.
I would just rollerblade in there for my own leisure.
in like a full like spandex like rollerblading like
What's up,
like
guys?
working out thing or whatever.
There's a skate park, like a city skate park down at the end of my street in the big park. And like I'll see kids on razor scooters down there and skateboards, but I don't think I've seen anybody on rollerblades.
because they're laughed off that rink.
Which
Like
I don't
the-
think
the
they should
park.
be laughed off.
I mean, no, what?
I don't think rollerbladers.
No,
should
I
be
don't
laughed
think
off.
so. It's not.
No,
I
they
don't know
should.
why it
I
became.
think they should.
It's about it's about
I
free
used to
expression.
rollerblade when I was younger. I thought it was the coolest thing. I had like
Yeah,
the
man.
shin guards. And
I
the
remember
knee
that
pads
first scene
and-
of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie. I got a pair of rollerblades weeks after.
That there was a time where it was like the coolest thing.
I did it
Yeah.
so I could play like street hockey.
Oh, see.
Isn't that cool? That's still
From, like, Clerks?
that
Yeah,
sounds
and that was a
cool.
good,
Yeah, that's fun.
but, the last movie with rollerblading I remember was there was that movie where Seth Green was. Do you guys remember this? It was like a '90s like there was this like kid that moved to a new town and there was like
Thrashing?
surf. No, maybe there was like a surfing,
Was
but
it
then
like
also they
Loser?
were rollerblading.
No, that's with Jason Biggs.
No,
I remember
they-
Loser.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
They had that Soundgarden song in it, "My Wave," and it
Airborne.
was like, Airborne, maybe I don't know, but it's like some
I'll
kid.
find it. It was filmed in Cincinnati,
Oh yeah.
It was on.
Well,
it was
The
on How to Dis-
rollerblading
I
capital
know
of the
everything
world.
about this movie.
all
Its name.
It was
the key
on,
grip was
no, it was on How Did This Get Made
really
within the last year. But the other reason I know about this movie is that a friend of mine.
I want to start a show called Why Did This Get Made?
Yeah, people just ask that about this every week anyway. The reason I know about this is that my friend Jay, who I recently got to see in Seattle, he grew up in Cincinnati, and his girlfriend got stolen by Seth Green when they were in town filming it. 'Cause she's like, he's famous, fuck you. And so, that's...
Oh, man,
Seth
I thought
Green
Seth Green legitimately kidnapped. Get in the van.
that might have
That
been
just
it.
sucks.
Watch me
Like-
play with claymation figures and give them weird voices for 15 minutes.
like if your girlfriend got stolen by an actor, celebrity, and especially if they were, like a handsome dude or whatever. And I'm not saying like he's a bad looking guy, but
He
he's
was like the punching bag of the 90s.
exactly. So it's like if it got stolen by I don't know,
like that'd be like if
some
your
heartthrob
girlfriend
guy.
got stolen by Justin Long circa 2001.
yeah, exactly. Where like,
Or even now.
but still, even they, it's
like
not
2001, he was a Mac, not a PC, and was rolling in Apple money. I mean,
but
fair
no, but I
play.
mean, yeah, and Seth Green has money too. That's what I'm saying is like that would suck. Like, oh well,
coincidentally, so is the PC guy.
That's true.
John Hodgman.
but I think Justin Long at that point, I think he was dating Drew Barrymore. Like that was,
Oh, wow.
he got to that level of fame where he got to catch that cold. It was
Not
called
too-
Airborne. It was filmed in 1993, and Seth Green played Wiley. For what it's worth, his IMDb credits. I've been scrolling this for like 4 minutes, and it
he's in
still
a
just
lot of
keeps
stuff,
going.
man.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies.
a lot of TV shows, a lot of movies,
A lot of production credits. I mean,
But if there was a pie chart of what was successful, it would be a very tiny piece of it.
Just like
Yeah,
stealing Jay's girlfriend.
like it, some. I mean, he's not like a leading man, so like his stuff,
Yeah.
some of it, he's in it. He's a smaller role, and
Is
He's
that,
a smaller
is that a
guy.
crack about his size?
I mean, no, but it could be. I mean, whatever, Like,
Whoa! Tom Cruise is short, and he
I'm
does
s-
well for himself.
Yeah, but he's
It's
like
because
all right,
he
if,
has a
if your
Scientology
girlfriend,
machine
If your
behind
girlfriend
him.
got stolen by Tom Cruise, you'd be like, well, I mean, she's
Oh,
doing
no,
she's
I'd
about that.
fight Tom
you know?
Cruise.
She's
But-
practically
I'd fight
going to be
Tom
untouched.
Cruise
Well,
right
and you
there.
should, but I just mean like
But
he's
that's because I want to fight Tom Cruise.
he's any particular reason just because
do you
he's
think
Tom
No,
Cruise.
it would
just
be
because
like
he's
a
Tom
slap
Cruise.
Yeah, I
fight?
can get behind that. That's,
Oh no, I don't know why. Aside from Top Gun, I just have an irrational hatred for Tom Cruise.
Oh.
And Top Gun, the only reason I like Top Gun because it's shared. It's just weird, corny shit shared
Yeah.
with a mutual friend.
It's the veiled homoerotic nature of it, right?
It's not veiled,
That-
but yeah, I love it.
Well, I mean, look, in 1987, for mass market appeal, it was not like you have to do a little digging. You might need a Quentin Tarantino monologue to
This
uncover
movie's
everything.
gonna be a thrilling action flick, and then it's like this is gonna be this volleyball scene with a bunch of oiled up dudes, and song behind is gonna be playing with the boys.
But then there's the love scene,
and that's the scene that people remember more than
there's
the whole movie.
There's the
like,
shadowy
why?
love scene with Kelly McGillis, who oddly enough, lesbian. So it's all backwards and topsy turvy.
They're
like
going
the
to
most
explain it
romantic
all
scene.
in the sequel.
Sequel. It will now that it's the ban on serving openly.
There's a
gay has been
sequel to
lifted.
Top Gun. There's a
It's
Top
coming
Gun.
out.
it's like
Yeah.
they're
Going to be
doing
called
it.
Maverick.
Oh, and right now they're doing one.
Yeah, they're
Oh,
doing
I
it.
was gonna do one.
Well, you still have time.
Dude, yeah, hurry up.
Mobilize your
I'm
forces.
just gonna do a stage play. It's gonna be amazing.
Is it going to be a musical?
Maybe
It
we'll
should
find
be.
out.
You got to one up the sequel. So
Oh,
you
I
gotta-
already know I've won.
And I want you to play both main characters.
No.
No, I'm gonna play Goose as a cyborg.
And who's going to play Maverick?
Because that's gonna.
He
I
comes
don't-
back as a cyborg.
He comes back as a cyborg rebuilt by the Russians in order to destroy.
So Winter
Tom
Soldier.
Cruise.
Genius.
I
That's-
know. Yeah, but with
Whoa,
planes.
but Summer
Paul.
Soldier with that volleyball scene.
Yes, but there will still be a volleyball scene that'll be very much in play.
I almost can't picture anyone but Chad Weaver playing Maverick in that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like perfect for him.
Oh no, yeah. Like I think we were just having a meeting one day, and I was just being dumb, and I was just like, "Yeah, I was thinking about doing a sequel to Top Gun." They're like,
In
"What?"
fact, he dressed up in a pilot coverall at Yusuf Ali's roast when Yusuf moved to LA.
I think he did. Yeah,
He
Yeah.
played Maverick. I mean, so it's already ready to go.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, so you could get it out before the Hollywood
I
machine.
just
They've
have
got
to
all the
figure out-
lawyers and
I
everything.
have to figure out to get rid of all these human parts. And replace them with
Just
machines.
like spray adhesive, some aluminum foil on it. It'll look real.
Nah, that won't make me a better boy, though.
I want it to be as cheaply made as possible. Use green screens, but don't put anything behind it.
It's like we didn't have the money to do the CGI.
Just
but
at the beginning, imagine your own background and then just in the scenes.
This is that's a new way to look at movies.
and then
though.
put
It's
it out on
groundbreaking.
YouTube. Like,
But you guys
we'll
like
edit
To
and post.
anyone, it'd be.
But you don't even you just wear a green suit. It's just your face, and then you have to imagine that you're a robot.
That would be perfect.
I don't
We're
know.
only going to take like a 10% production credit on this for the idea. You're fine.
No, you're not.
Well,
I'll fight you for this.
we've got recording of who has the ideas.
Oh, son of a bitch.
We'll slap fight you.
And I can edit this where you
yeah.
give us all the rights.
Sounds great, guys.
Give rights to you.
I wish I was as smart as the three of you. So there was one thing I got slipped in real quick when Bender went out to go and try and make a name for himself after getting turned down by the rollerblade crew. There was a billboard in the back that said dolphin, the other white meat.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't catch that.
I mean, how much dolphin do you think you've eaten accidentally?
I mean,
having like tuna and stuff.
Oh, I had to have at least eaten a flipper's worth of a dolphin, I would think.
Like Flipper the dolphin or Flipper like
A flipper,
Just
or
as in a flipper.
yeah, like just that amount. Maybe what is that? Like maybe 10% of a dolphin.
I'd say that's 1/10 of a dolphin.
That's fair. Dorsal or
I don't
the
think I've
funny
eaten
fins?
anything like I think I've eaten any part of it because for a while they were not they weren't didn't say like dolphin safe tuna on it. So
Right.
and I've been eating canned tuna fish like my entire life.
Right.
So I would say 3 dolphins.
do you think that's
2 of them I just ate for pleasure.
How much canned tuna fish are you eating?
I've been eating 3 cans of tuna a day for
I'm just like trying to
17
picture
years.
how much like, little bits of dolphin make up that. Like I'm like, damn, that's a
Tom's
lot.
in there like picking out the tuna, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, dolphin."
is it as much as Jeremy Piven ate sushi to get mercury
Oh,
poisoning?
God. No, I don't know. I just made that up.
Do you think
but
he really got mercury poisoning, or was he just in like rehab for?
he's Jeremy Piven, so he probably ate too much sushi and got mercury poison.
I saw him on the Late Show when Craig Ferguson was hosting it, and he was just like coked out of his mind on it. Like when you catch those, I've seen like 3 late night television appearances where the guest was clearly just
Like messed
like
up.
messed up. One was him where he was just like, like vibrating because he was so tweaked out. Another one was John Goodman on Letterman, and he was just wasted. Like, and it was so funny because Letterman's asking him questions. He's just like heavy breathing and just kind of like completely disoriented. And then another one was Norm Macdonald, and he was just funny as fuck, like even more so than he usually is.
I enjoy Norm Macdonald. quite a bit.
That episode was the one where he tore into Courtney Thorne-Smith about that Carrot Top movie.
Yeah, I saw that clip.
Like,
yeah.
it was really.
Have
really
you ever seen
good.
that?
No, I have
That's
not.
great.
I just
She's
enjoy that.
she's in the Carrot Top movie, which I didn't know was even happened. There was a Carrot Top movie, and she's like the girl in it, and he just kept.
Chairman of the board?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you
I'm
seen
familiar.
that?
No, I haven't seen it. I remember it though.
I
'cause I was
never-
like, I remember
He's like
seeing a Carrot
surfing on the top
movie, yeah.
of a
And it,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
or like a
and it was one of those
Like
things where it
table
was like,
conference table. Yeah.
it was recorded and supposed to come out, and then it was like held back for like 18 months, and then she had to go out and do press for
Yeah,
it.
and so she's like describing the movie, and every like 2 minutes, Norm Macdonald just like come in there with one little thing, like, oh, well, yeah, and just
Who is
mean
in
as
that-
fuck.
who
It
is
was so
this?
funny.
Norm Macdonald,
But who was in the movie?
Courtney Thorne-Smith.
Who's this?
She's
She was on
blonde actress from Melrose Place, Day by Day.
Was she on?
Charles
Murphy
in
Brown?
Charge? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know those '90s
Yeah.
shows. She was cute
She was
blonde girl.
around.
Like
Spin
if you
City.
saw her, you'd
Yeah,
was she on
that
Spin
sounds
City?
about right.
Yeah, you'd remember if you saw her.
Okay. I get all those
Oh, and then she was on
3
that
named girls from
horrible
the 90s mixed up.
A blonde girl named
Sure.
Courtney from the '90s.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Who else is there? Bryce Dallas Howard.
Lara Flynn Boyle.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lara Flynn Boyle fan.
Who
I am.
isn't?
She is attractive. Anyways.
Yeah. That's how much we'd rather talk about anything but this shitty episode of Futurama. The part where Bender unscrewed his head and it was all of a sudden a spray can, but then the homage to Monty Python's Life of Brian where he did the big spray paint on the giant side of the building. I thought that was interesting.
Sure, Pete.
And then where it collapsed and it just said Bender licks butt. It's a little risque for a primetime cartoon sitcom.
That's
don't
art,
you think?
man.
Oh, I know.
art play.
There's butts all over art and people licking butts all over art. Go over to the Cleveland Art Museum. Or I'm sorry, Cleveland Museum of
That's
Art.
where I go to lick butt.
You were just there
away
taking
from that
pictures.
They were voted Cleveland's best place to lick butts.
And it's free.
Wouldn't it suck to be nominated by Scene for that and then lose?
Cleveland's best place to lick butts, and then you're like, I'm not even good enough to get butts licked here.
I don't know. That could go either way.
I built this place
I guess
specifically.
that's
And
probably
then you have people come in like, hey, I voted for you, man. I like licking butts.
it's probably the you want to come in first or you want to come in last. But anywhere in the middle of that category is a little dicey. Like I'd be okay with it being like, no, you don't lick butts there ever. But then if it's like a place where you go to lick
Which
butts,
I feel like is most places.
What?
Are
Well,
not
look,
places.
look.
You don't lick butts at a lot of places.
has anybody ever had their butt licked in the bathrooms at the Spitfire, Tom? There's
mean-
been all kinds of stuff that's happened
Yes.
down in that basement.
Probably.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah,
wouldn't put past what happened.
No,
there.
this one time I was
Butt
some-
licking somebody else.
no, some
and
show
I
we had there.
heard, and
This isn't a very good story
They
because
started licking butts.
this isn't a good story because it didn't happen to me. But Dan Hallahan, former guest.
so it's not a good story because you weren't getting your butt licked? Does every story that is good have to have you getting your butt
No,
licked
just
in it?
because I didn't see it happen. Like it's kind of like who cares about this?
Oh, so
secondhand story or
basically
whatever.
it's hearsay.
Yeah, but it's not. Dan Hallahan,
Former
guest, former bandmate, was down there,
Librarian.
sitting or hanging out, whatever. Remember when you used to like hang out down there? I don't
Like in
know.
the basement there?
Yeah.
The
you used
smoky
to hang
room?
out and lick butts down there.
This is upstairs. I was always in someone's band room. Or some
Oh
shit.
yeah. That's still up there too.
Yeah,
but, like,
that's
it's
I have a room up
some
there.
guy lifted up his girlfriend's skirt and was eating her ass out, and he just turned around to Dan and is like, "What's the matter? I forget what he said. You have to ask him." He's like,
Wait,
he's
so
like,
is it scruffy?
I think he's no. This is Dan's impersonation of her. Is what it sounded like was. I was gonna say something like, "Do you have a problem?" But I think he said something like, "Do you like seeing me lick my girlfriend's ass?" or something like that. And he's like, "Not really here."
Just
you
to
know,
say
like-
that, like just to say, it's like what? Like why are you looking? Because you're.
But it wasn't
licking
even.
ass.
It wasn't even that. Like I thought this was. And he's like, he was like all proud of it. Like yeah,
yeah.
pretty good, huh? Or something. And it's
I don't know. I probably need to see for myself. I mean, there's a lot of ways that could go and be better.
Hey boy, let me learn you something.
To be fair, that was when a snake got
You have to use a twist.
loose in the bar and he had to suck the poison out.
a couple weeks ago, Tom had to chase a customer out of
masturbator.
there.
Yes.
You had a barsterbator?
Yeah, he was in the bathroom, but
You showed him.
Showed him.
This is how you do it.
I waved a hard stick at him and he ran away.
You can't do that here. I remember one time I was working at Mayhall's and I was in the kitchen and it was like
Please tell me no one was licking butts in the kitchen.
no one's licking butts and I'll guess not in the kitchen at least. But it was like a Halloween party or some shit. It was one of those huge events that they normally have and like so you know where there's that room with the popcorn machine
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the couch and shit. Two girls were just going at it on that couch, like basically having sex. And then like three of the biggest dudes all working the bar, all walk into the kitchen like, hey, can you handle this? I'm like, what? Why do you want me to handle this? Like,
And they
You're gonna-
handed-
You gotta be
blew
the
my
one-
mind because it's just like you could just tell them to leave. You can do that. You're
Yeah.
already out there.
You're a
gonna walk in
bouncer.
the kitchen. Yeah, like these dudes are like 6'3", like probably over 200 pounds muscle. And he's just like, well, I don't know how to do this. Man. And I had to walk up to
I'm
two women.
overwhelmed by the femininity.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I remember it's just like, hey, They both stopped. I'm like, you can't do that here. And I walked in the kitchen.
You mansplained to them that they couldn't do that.
You can't do that here, but I do know a place that you could do it when I get out of work.
Do you own an apartment? You rent anywhere near anywhere? If you have cars, you can do that there, but don't get caught.
Do you remember what their costumes were?
No, I do not. They were disrobed slightly by that time. Yeah, there were exposed areas, and it just made me mad because there's just like they were fully capable. That's 3 dudes asking one man to do to do that job.
Were they just shy?
Well,
were they like
they were asking you to do a job that
'cause, like,
clearly no man could do?
Like they walked out, so they like told me what happened. They walked out, and then it was just like, and then we all just kind of stared, and I just like walked into the kitchen. I was like, oh my god, really? That's a fun place to work.
And how long did you let them go until you actually said you have to leave?
I didn't let them go very long.
Did you use an increasingly loud series of coughs?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
You can't do that here.
Hi. Hello, excuse me.
I'd be
Just like
it's
I've
not like
seen
you- like,
I've seen
could
sex
you-
happen in weird places. Like I was at this rave in a barn. And,
Well, that's. I mean,
That's
to
not-
be
that's
honest,
pretty
that's
normal.
not that
That's-
weird if
that's
you
pretty
see that
normal.
happen.
The weird part
I've
about
been
it
to
was
the
just
county
like-
fair too. So
it was
what?
just, the part that I don't know. It just weirded me out because like I was on an ungodly amount of acid at the time.
Okay,
And,
so none of your stories hold any truthness because you may have just imagined all of
I
it.
imagined it. Yeah. But like it was after the party was over and it was like 7 a.m. and I'm like walking into the barn and this is like this girl I knew in high school who I was like super surprised to see there, and then this just like two random people, and they're just like, this dude's just like fingering the shit out of her like on a couch. And then this other strange girl is trying to get this girl I know from high school to join in, and she's like trying to peer away. And then 3 of my friends are just like blasted out of their minds, just like. Just
I read
staring.
about this in
No
Savage
idea.
Love.
Just that thing when you're tripping and you're like, does this happen? Like, you know that where every weird thing that happens, like this doesn't really happen. Is this happening? Does the universe know I'm tripping right now? Is
I
that
think
why
I was
this is
just like,
happening?
I think I was like Larry David tripping, where everything was just an outrage to me, and I just like I walked into the barn, and I'm like, what's going on? What are you guys doing? And my one buddy's like, Wilson, shut up. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna shut up. This is weird.
Tom had sex in a porta potty in high school.
Fuck yeah.
At an Alice Cooper concert.
Even grosser. That's
With Alice Cooper.
even grosser. Grossest.
This was right after I got my palm read, and basically she told me the exact thing was going to happen, which is weird.
What?
Yeah.
What, she said you were going to bang
No,
someone
I'm
there
just
that day?
kidding.
Oh, dude, that would be crazy. I'd be like, how did you leave that part of the story out all these
Yeah, I bet more than just your palms were red after that shenanigan, Tom. I'm sure it was hot,
you're gonna
uncomfortable,
have
smelly.
sex.
It was gross.
Yeah.
The stars tell me you're going to have sex in a porta potty.
Under the
Alice
watchful
Cooper.
eye of Alice Cooper.
It turns out what that line meant right there.
I'm seeing you having sex, but it's very smelly for some reason.
So
Turns out there was a guy in there just being like, what's going on?
I ain't never seen you either. Sal shows up after they demolished Bender's graffiti. Did you notice that his shirt changed color in a matter of seconds?
Oh, it was one of those.
There was a
errors.
continuity error. And those are few and far between on this show, I think.
Continuity error.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was paying attention.
Should I edit that out?
Got him.
And wow, we're like 10 minutes in because this episode fucking sucked. Bender's funeral,
Yeah, we got to there.
mini bar in the casket. Hermes Calypso dirge was kind of fun, but I mean, not like fun, but like that's interesting.
So what happens after the funeral? The
Zoidberg
professor-
sings "Daddy Boy."
Yeah,
Daddy boy.
Daddy boy, or Danny boy. But I thought that part was funny just because it was, I don't know.
It was
That's just
better than
me. Yeah.
other parts of the episode.
It's like, okay. And his voice makes it work.
yeah,
out.
it's
just
he
like-
can kind of say anything, and
Yeah.
it's like amusing.
If you have the DVD and watch the episode with commentary on this episode, it's Billy West and John DiMaggio. Instead of them doing the commentary, it's Fry, Professor and Bender doing
they
the
do it as the
commentary.
characters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was Billy West and he sings harmony with himself as Zoidberg. But,
He could probably do
but
that.
he didn't, and that was a wasted opportunity. I think out of all of it, the best line out of that whole section was Bender going, louder and sadder, which is... I mean,
But that's what I'm gonna have a giant sign at my funeral that just says louder and sadder.
Yeah, I mean, really, that might be my next band name. Or,
a pretty good
or
name.
an album
Or at least
title.
a concept. Like,
Yeah, louder and
Trademark
sadder.
Slurmcast right now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's,
you could do that Dead Boys thing. It could be louder, sadder, and
young, loud, and steady. But like
older, louder,
old,
and
loud, and
sadder.
sadder. By the Daddy Boys. old, louder, and sadder. Oh shit! This is great. This is making up for the panic attacks I was almost having all day. So as it transitions into the actual A story, Professor, I've never heard him do this. News, everyone.
I think
I think that's the first time he does.
Does he
doesn't
do that
say,
later? Like, does that come back as a thing?
I can't think of another time he does that.
That's clever. I appreciate them doing that. But then, like, didn't he have a good idea that the crew would be enslaved when they go out to?
I don't think he cared.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
He never cares
expendable
about
they are.
the,
Yeah, what's going to happen once
yeah.
they go.
It's always a dangerous thing, and he always says it like, oh, and the
Some
thing of
people
no
might be
return or
killed,
whatever. Yeah,
and-
yeah.
Good news, everyone. You're going to blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He doesn't care. He needs to. You know what I was thinking when I saw that? Who delivered that sand block to Planet Express? Like, how did that get there?
It probably came out of Bender's magical chest cavity, Tom. He brought it in.
that
like,
and hoisted on top.
That's like
of
a
the ship.
giant middleman thing for Planet Express. Why couldn't the place that actually like made that block just take it to Osiris 4?
And I felt like Osiris 4 had a lot of limestone blocks.
Yeah.
But that's how the
Yeah, well, yeah.
Pyramids
Because
were
they kept
built.
having.
Well,
they
when
kept
they got
having to
there,
have
didn't
people
they
come
say
there.
something?
And,
I think
get
I thought
enslaved.
that was a very like if anything like
I also
an
thought it was-
unintentional subtle joke of the pyramids being built in the theory or like that those blocks came from somewhere far away or whatever.
Well, that
That's
part I
where-
actually thought, like, when they went through that commentary at some point later in the episode, I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
'Cause-
yeah.
Was it they learned to make the pyramids from the Egyptians?
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
whole thing
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, because that's like, I have a bunch, I love ancient.
Oh, me too.
aliens.
I love all that
It's
stuff.
one of
yeah.
my favorite shows ever.
Did you see?
I just wish I could be that crazy.
there's
Like,
a
for real.
keep taking acid and going to
You need to
farmyard
you need to meet
raves
my
and you might be.
roommate.
yeah. No, yeah, I love that.
We have a guru for you.
Like, I want to be as crazy as the friends I have where they're just like, you're like, oh, dude, they're inciting a race war just to get people not to notice that weed's being legalized. Like, shut up.
Believe me, I'd notice if it was here. Is
I'll take all the race wars to legalize weed. That's
are there? Do you have any flat earther friends?
No. I've got.
I don't think
I've
I've
got
ever met
cousins
someone
who
in
believe in
person.
crazy ass. Yeah, I've never met a flat earther person.
Unless
maybe.
does Mike count? Is he a flat earther? Like
I don't think he counts.
just
I mean, not anymore. He was
No,
for a
I mean-
while.
I mean, I have a couple friends who like don't believe in climate change, but they've never discussed the Earth being flat, which is like at least there's reasonable.
that's a lot.
Honestly,
more
you know what? To
reasonable
be
than-
honest, if I met somebody that was a flat earther, I don't even think I would believe that they were that because I'm like, how? Like, I would think that they're joking because it's just so.
it would be hard to swallow that they
like,
really,
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Go back under your bridge. You're just a troll, man.
because then I would
There's
just be-
no other explanation.
I would just want to like start
cats would have
quizzing them.
knocked
Like
everything off the end of the earth if it was
would just-
flat.
There you go.
I would just have so many questions about like what do they believe in or not believe in. You know what I mean?
That
Where
the
I-
Earth is
Yeah, at that
flat and
point,
not
like, when
round.
and why?
If someone were to tell you that, yeah, like the Earth is flat, and you're like, what
Like,
else do you think? is-
exactly? like and you know like if yeah.
Meaning that when people believed that the Earth was flat before, nobody had been to space to say, "Hey,
It
it's
is
not."
It also could not be flat or round. It could just be this weird orb
Like a
in
tube?
this space that just you can go or like you're not gonna go off of it because who knows? but it is definitely not flat.
I don't like that line of logic, Tom.
Who knows what's anything anymore?
Well,
I mean, look who got elected president of the United States. And look who was last name American Idol.
Who?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping it was somebody that was an upset.
do you remember that guy from Cleveland that was on American Idol?
Yeah.
And what?
I think he died.
Was he like one of the unimpressive winners?
I don't know. He was one of those guys who came out and he looked like a little meathead. He's sort of an egg-shaped dude, and then he started singing. He had like a really beautiful voice, and I think he went on to some. I mean, he was no like Bo Bice or Taylor Hawkins, but like, you know, he'll show up and sing a Christmas Carol to a smooth R&B beat every once in a while.
I wasn't Ruben Studdard because Ruben Studdard's not from Cleveland.
No, he was from like Alabama or something.
Yeah,
it might have been the same season though.
Yeah,
possible.
I don't remember much of.
I watched a lot of American Idol.
I did as a kid. My dad had this awesome trait he passed down to me, which is like watching people fail.
So
it's funny.
So is it like sadism?
On national TV is even funnier.
I remember growing, like, as I like became more empathetic, like thinking, I was like, wow, I was a terrible piece of shit watching that show.
I mean, like, Schadenfreude is fantastic, but that's like sadism by proxy or something too.
Really,
like
the best part of American Idol, when I used to like, when it first came out, it was like something new. Now, like whatever, was the stuff leading up to it, where they would just fill in a whole bunch of just terrible people in like the auditions and like.
Well, all those shows, like when the first like Survivor, like I watched the first one, you know, like oh, this is interesting, you know, just came out, and now there's 10 million of those shows, you know.
You know what the worst thing about watching American Idol is?
What?
They don't pay you, and you're not allowed to leave.
What, if you're watching it?
No, that's a line from Futurama where he says,
"Oh,
the worst thing about being a slave is."
Yeah,
normally you're yelling at me for not sticking to the topic, but like
I don't think that.
And
happens.
poor Brian Dunkel isn't on it anymore. He was only on that first season.
Who
Remember
was
he
his
was
name?
the co-host.
What was his
Brian
name?
Dunkel.
Dunkel?
Oh, from American Idol?
Yeah, it was Ryan Seacrest and
like,
Brian Dunkel.
They're like Seacrest. He's the man.
Yeah, and he quit
Oh, he quit?
because he didn't think it was going to be anything.
Oh, that's on him then.
Yeah, that's his fault.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for him anymore now.
Maybe
If it was some,
he quit.
or it could have been some more deep.
Yeah,
Could be more deep shit in that. Maybe Seacrest did an inside job.
Seacrest said out.
Yeah.
Did we ever learn the origin of the Crocodile Dundee guy? Because anytime anyone gets put into a slavery situation, there he is.
Oh,
I feel
the
like
Crocodile Dundee.
he goes to
He's just, like,
he goes to Zoidberg, and Zoidberg like is like, oh, I heard about this place, blah blah blah. You should check it out. And then he gets enslaved everywhere.
Well, yeah, because there was the Slurm factory where we first encountered him, and he was a slave in there in the mines, and now he's here. And like how many other
I like that they didn't bother to
they
explain him.
into?
They're just like, here's that Australian guy again. He's a slave.
Well, I mean,
well,
again,
that stuff is
that,
fun. Like if you're
He's
like
in the-
returning to watch.
I don't-
if you
yeah,
watch
yeah.
the show,
And if you, it's like, oh, there's that guy. I'm a fan.
Did we get to the episode where Hermes goes on vacation and it turns out to be like a slave thing?
No, not yet,
Okay,
no.
so he comes back.
no, that's the
again.
same thing. That was the same thing, wasn't it?
Where because
Hermes and LaBarbaro went.
Oh, that was that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where
Okay,
he showed up
yeah,
for
yeah.
you. Funny coincidence. Michelle Burlingame just texted me about. Did you hear Futurama going to Hulu, et cetera? And I'm like, we just talked about that.
Michelle, you got scooped by Jenny.
By like a half an hour.
No, that's
okay,
from like 5
but
or
I mean,
6 hours
as far as
ago.
us recording it and talking about it, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well, I retweeted that. Somebody retweeted that on
wasn't me.
Twitter.
I
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I thought you took Twitter off your phone.
I was looking for who are you, Mark Maron? I was just looking for any kind of distraction at all today. I was having a really rough day at work.
Oh, yeah?
Just not digging it. I really didn't understand why Bender got so obsessed with the Pharaoh all of a sudden. Was it just like an aspirational thing? Like he wanted to be him? Because he didn't even really seem to want to be him.
Well, you said that the last 3 or 4 times that he got obsessed with some big
like the
character or whatever.
Globetrotter, so but he wanted
Yeah.
to be a Globetrotter.
Or
but this
Calculon, or
I
Well,
felt like
think
this
a
was different.
Globetrotter.
I think it was-
everybody wants to be a Globetrotter.
I think
yeah, but then the
seeing-
same thing. The Pharaoh's like,
Are you
he's the
funky
king,
enough?
like,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you funky enough in your heart to be a Globetrotter?
I think
Wilson?
where that came from is Bender saw like all the pyramids and stuff like that, and then saw the one they were building for the pharaoh and was like,
oh, and was like,
he's gonna be remembered, because that's the whole basis of this episode is Bender wanting to be remembered. So therefore he was like, oh, the pharaoh whatever is
he's got it all figured out.
He's got it all figured out, so I'm gonna impress anyone I can, and then the pharaoh inadvertently dies.
I would love to drop a bag of cats into a grave and just leave it. that was like my favorite part of the episode. There you go.
Our culture finds it holy for some reason.
I know. I know three I could
like
start
that,
with.
like that. Oh shit! Watch my hands, but yeah,
the Pharaoh's own organs in the mason jars, like that was a good bit. This was painful to watch, wasn't it?
I wouldn't say it was painful to watch. It's just it felt longer.
Yes, much longer than 22 minutes.
Oh man, I can't believe nobody mentioned when we were talking about all the crazy theories. Fry's line of insane theory 1, or did somebody say that?
No. But
regular theories a billion.
Oh yeah.
Oh, how annoying and shitty was the fucking Elton John thing?
Yeah. It was so dumb.
And if they would have done that and he was there for like 2 seconds, it'd be like, okay, all right. But then they went on, it just was bad.
He did like 3 different versions of Elton John's song in one song.
Oh yeah, and nobody was. It's like somebody or
they didn't
some
just
people
push him right into the tomb though.
But like this went through the whole writing process, and then the whole recording, and then the animating stuff, and like nobody was there to go like, this is a shitty episode. Like, how does it slip through the cracks like that?
Like I'm sure it was.
I know that's TV. It happens.
It was pointing at him doing Candle of the Wind.
And
when
this was
Princess
back when
died,
you had to do like 24 episodes a season, where now you'd watch a cartoon like that and it would be like 10 episodes. And they'd make them as good as possible, and
just not great.
It was just like, shit it out. People will watch this.
Yeah, it's TV. Like, we didn't.
I mean, it's still like that, but I mean, especially back then, it was like,
it's like not everybody had the DVRs and shit. And like Netflix is just a thing where you just
can pick the best. Like, oh, all my friends like this. So I'm gonna watch this. It was like you had the 5 channels, and then whatever kind of okay stuff was on cable, and
And then Bender does fake Walk Like an Egyptian to fake Walk Like an Egyptian music.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
There was a lot of like little bits like that just were worthless. Just like could have been things happening while something funnier was happening, but like there was too much like, this is the point of this scene, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip through my notes till I get to the parts that I think are actually funny.
You know what? One of the worst parts of this entire episode is when they're in like the slave housing or whatever, and they're like, we're slaves to no one except the rhythm. And Leela,
that whole thing.
Leela says something. It's like, play those bongos.
Yeah,
and it's just
something like,
I was like, that was the most unneeded. Like,
just the whole. Yeah.
Do you think Katie Seagal asked them to do that because she's got that whole music career on the side?
I didn't know she had a music career on the side.
No, I wonder if that was like put in there to like, for like hearing impaired or something, like, because I always watch it with captions on it, and there was nothing about like,
oddly enough,
like,
Tom can't read, but he still puts the subtitles on just to see the words flash.
And one of his ears just went out.
Yep. And your eyes, you're falling apart. Your symmetry is all fucked up, Tom.
Falling apart.
Crypt Keeper of podcast co-hosts. Slowly down.
You're gonna come in next week with like a ratty robe on.
I wish I could do that.
Tom, what are you doing?
So when they finish
Crypt Keeper.
so they make the slaves build a new like giant stone bender. But what did you see the part where they finish and they kind of pan out and there's like skeletons all stuck in between each layer? Like I like that.
That statue is 1 billion cubits tall. 284,000 miles.
How
high.
is that calculated, and who did it? Or are you just pulling it off Emphaseer?
I am, but there's math to it. I read about cubits, and
I thought cubits were like completely arbitrary lengths of measurement, because it was basically like from your elbow to your middle finger, and so everybody's got a different length. Like how long is your elbow to your middle finger, Horgy?
The length that it is. What do you mean? I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, hold it up, Wilson, just to gauge it. Because if you're like, here's my cubit and here's your cubit.
I think Pete's been having a long day.
I
He
have.
just wants to flip it.
I've been overthinking. Just here's 2 cubits.
You don't need that excuse. You can just do that.
I can't do it to my clients. And most of my clients I don't want to do it to be
It's
fair.
the
You can do
forearm
it to
length
him over
of
the
the
phone.
tip of the middle finger to the bottom of the elbow.
Uh-huh.
Who has the biggest cubit?
Who's got the most impressive cubit in the league? Let's whip out the cubits.
Can I use my
You take off an eighth of an inch for Tom's little brace.
You're mechanically enhanced with space age technology.
Oh, he could be the cyborg in the
Top Gun.
Top Gun.
What? So how come?
All right.
all you can pay for is that it's part robot finger. Technically a cyborg.
It's just cutting a
Technically.
scene where it like goes to punch and then it's just Tom taking it.
He's a cyborg. He's a cyborg because of his pacemaker.
Why did the cyborg's hand become hairier?
Is it a thing that Egyptians would put lots and lots and lots of snakes in their tombs?
That was an Indiana Jones joke.
I know,
Yeah.
but millions of them. That's a lot of
Obviously,
snakes.
I mean, the most I know about mummies and Egyptian stuff is from Indiana Jones. So.
I learned
and
it
the
from
Old
Abbott and
Testament.
Costello. Wait, are there mummies in the Old Testament?
No, I'm talking about Indiana Jones. What I know about mummies and the Old Testament is from Indiana Jones.
Oh, you learned about the Old Testament
From
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones, yes.
I thought all this stuff I didn't think that was in the Old Testament. Is it?
What?
All this stuff from Indiana Jones.
No. Indiana Jones explains the Ark of the Covenant. And that's
But is
how I
that
know.
in the Old Testament?
Yes.
Yes.
It is?
The Old
Yes.
Testament crazy, dog.
Well,
It's
I
got
know
everything's
there's like,
in there, you know? Like,
there's
name
like
something.
murder and rape and bestiality.
It's like no
cutting off-
shrimp. You can't eat shrimp.
Cutting off the end of the peen.
Love shrimp.
Yeah. No, it's all in there.
Okay.
The New Testament is all about Jesus walking around turning fish into more
Just
fish.
be nice
and-
to everybody, right? Somebody's being a dick. Try to be nice. Kill them with kindness. Maybe that'll work.
Speaking of the testaments and religion, one of my favorite lines was afterlife. If I thought I'd have to go through a whole nother life, I'd kill myself. And I was like, I think I've said that before out loud. Like that's
I relate.
yeah, exactly.
Is there such a thing as pomegranate schnapps?
If not, there
Yes,
should
yeah.
It sounds
mean,
really good.
There's got to be, dude. There's so much. There's a schnapps for everything.
I mean,
now.
how do you make schnapps?
I remember when
It's not-
when I was a kid, it was grape schnapps and like peach schnapps,
schnapps.
and that was
Yeah,
it.
that was like the.
I don't
Cool
know what
And there's
the
mint
basis.
schnapps or like what is it? There's some like peppermint schnapps. It's peppermint.
Oh yeah,
schnapps.
that too.
yeah,
That was
peppermint
that's an old
schnapps.
one too. Yeah. But like now it's. I mean, there's like a million, different flavors for.
Like everything.
Yeah.
What is it? What
Yeah.
makes a schnapp?
Okay, a type of
That's a good
alcoholic
question.
beverage that may take
I don't
several forms,
You were
including
fast on
distilled
that.
fruit brandies, herbal liquors, infusions, and flavored liqueurs made by adding fruit syrup, spices, or artificial flavorings to neutral grain spirits.
You guys ever do that thing where
Could
you
Fireball
sounds
be a
like-
schnapps? I
Schnapps
think
sounds
Fireball
like something
is
a
technically
racist
schnapps.
Italian would call somebody.
The word
It's like, I'm not going to that bar. It's a bunch of fucking schnapps.
call up daddy and go regulate.
I mean,
No daughter of mine is bringing a schnapps home.
The word schnapp stems from Low German language and is related to the German term schnappen, which refers to the fact that the liquor or spirit or
And I
liquor
hope
drink is
you
usually
like
consumed
schnappen, too.
in a quick slug from a small glass, like a shot glass. So really, it's you're schnappen when you do shots.
So
That's-
every liquor is a schnapps.
So really, they just.
so it's all schnappen. It's all schnappen and
Makes me think of when rallies.
we need
used
to
be
build a
called
wall to get rid
snaps.
of all the schnapps.
This is very close.
so all I see every day walking up and down my street, fucking schnapps. It's running in and out there. They're taking all the good restaurant work.
This is like a gritty reboot of Do the Right Thing.
Sully, why no schnapps on the wall?
Can I be Radio Raheem in that?
Be whoever you want. When they blow up the big monument, using the pomegranate schnapps.
Sorry, I zoned out. I've just been picturing.
Also, hold on 1 second. In Bender's tomb, there's a casino.
Yeah.
Whose money is he winning? Like, what is that? I don't understand the basis behind that.
Yeah.
They could have picked anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just had a huge
Bender
casino.
loves
Like,
gambling.
There could have been hookers
It's
down
not
there or
about
something
winning.
like that.
And
But
they'd have to kill the hookers then. They had to prepare them for the afterlife, which means they'd have to
But then he'd just have to be like surrounded by dead hookers and live his eternity as a robot.
But if they're robot hookers,
that's okay, yeah.
then they'd be alive, or would they have to be disassembled? They
I don't
didn't
think they'd have to be disassembled because they threw everyone just in there.
and we learned Bender's one weakness: forgetting who he is, or pretending not to know who he is.
Huh?
That's how he got to go along with the plan of blowing up his own tomb, because Fry and Leela pretended to not
they didn't know who he
remember.
was.
Oh, yeah.
remember who he was.
That was lame too.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just kind of
That's how the whole
It
thing.
was a
and then they
yeah.
blew it up, ran out,
resolution.
got into their spaceship, and flew away.
It was a really
Well, right, and their spaceship was right there. It was like the Millennium Falcon in The Force Awakens. It was just like, oh, it's just hanging out there in the desert with a tarp on it. It'll be fine.
Also, where did they get the guys that were analyzing the Pharaoh's ass blueprints or whatever, like the measurements?
I thought that was kind of funny that he was whipping them. Like that was
He's whipping them
okay.
while like
Yeah.
A lot of the whipping was funny.
Yeah, some of that was
Yeah.
you know.
it was like it was very gratuitous.
Yeah.
It was yeah, I don't know. That's not Earth. Yay.
No.
Hey, we can stop talking about the shitty episode now. It really not good. Where does this rank on the Infosphere list, Tom?
You mean the IGN list? It
Yeah.
doesn't say. No, it doesn't even.
So it
they don't
doesn't even
talk
rank.
about that. Yeah, it probably doesn't even rank.
So it must be like, 128 out of 125 episodes. This is not good.
According to this, a cubit is 18 inches, which means 1 billion cubits is around 36 times the Earth's diameter.
Is this 18 inches to you? Huh?
Might be.
Huh?
For those of you listening, Pete keeps pulling his dick out.
Just slap it on the table.
It's got measurement lines like on a ruler. It's just 1 cubit. It's like so a cubit would be half a yard.
Oh, he just slapped Tom in the face.
Because weren't cubits used in the Noah's Ark story? Wasn't the stupid boat that he made supposed to be so many
Star
cubits?
Wars.
Maybe. Or were those like
no,
I
that's
think
the
that
other one.
was that money?
or those like cubics or
Cubits?
something? What?
Cubits, wasn't that money in some movie, Star Wars or something?
Cubits. I
Like
don't know.
Republican cubits or something?
I don't know.
Republic.
What's a
Yeah.
cubert?
It's an orange thing with a honky nose that
Jumps
bounces.
around on blocks, changes their colors.
Yeah, he fell on hard times. Didn't you see Wreck-It Ralph?
Yeah. Well, he
He's-
didn't
he's-
have much of a skill set. He couldn't move on,
He could get away
Okay,
from
in
snakes.
ancient Greek, the standard cubert was a.
Did you say the
18
standard
inches.
cubert?
No, in ancient Greek units of measurement, the standard forearm cubit was 18 inches. So that's where it came from.
There was no ISO organization to regulate that shit, though. How many Greek carpenters? Like, yeah. I need 9 cubits. There's a cubit.
It only took one carpenter.
In Japanese,
Yeah.
it was 16 inches. What does that say about them? I just made that all up.
Oh,
Well, there
God.
goes all our Japanese.
Well,
listeners.
actually, in ancient Rome, it was 17.5.
But it was real greasy.
We're very humble about our cubit sizes.
It was covered in salt. They use that for money, you know.
That was
Daddy needs his cubits.
He's got a whole crew of schnapps out there shaking people down for cubits.
Oh, I think this is an amazing way to end this right now.
I would love to see some fan art of Daddy and his crew of schnapps shaking down some people on the street for cubits.
Or what was the Daddy's band?
The Daddy Boys?
Yeah.
Daddy,
The Daddy
older,
Boys.
louder, sadder.
I want to see like some artwork for that.
Oh, I wish I remembered
With their
that.
album Louder. I mean, older, louder, and sadder.
I really wish I would remember all
What
of
was
this
that
in
one,
the
like-
morning.
It's like a bunch of older dudes sitting on a really old man's lap, and he's just
What was that old
Daddy's boys.
or this swing band that came out in like the 90s? Big Voodoo Daddy, was that what it was?
I think they
big-
all had to have Daddy in their name. There's the
Yeah.
Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Oh yeah.
There's Big Bad Voodoo Daddy.
Yeah.
There's
Why
probably,
did that happen?
I don't know.
When that was happening, I was like 6, and I was confused by it because I'm like, what are all these dudes in pompadours doing? with trumpets.
Well, okay.
giant
It all
suits.
started.
And why
with-
were they all daddies?
Was it because
that
of the mask?
It all-
Why were they all
No,
daddies?
seriously. I think that was
Whose
part
daddies
of it.
were they?
It all
because
started-
there's scary versions of daddies. There's fathers, which are Catholic daddies, and those do bad things. Sugar daddies, which are just creepy.
We were talking about
Rocky
that.
River,
they're-
Rocky River sugar
Yeah.
daddy.
Yeah, Rocky River sugar daddies. Unless we're talking about the delicious treat, which is also creepy because you can lure people with sugar daddies, especially me.
I
got a
really
weakness for, I got a weakness for daddies.
low rent candy gets you off.
And every sugar daddy I've had has been very, very salty in my mouth.
I think that whole swing dance thing started because of Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn. They created a movement with the movie Swingers.
That was a big part of it, too.
which was
for
supposed
sure.
to be documenting, it's basically like hey, we're a couple of actors in LA.
And they
we're
called
just
each other baby in that movie.
Yeah,
So obviously the
And why
daddies were
why
the-
are daddies calling each other babies?
it was one of those things where
They started off as babies, but by the end of the movie, they were
Like-
they were
they
all
were daddies, yeah.
like I think I was out of college when that movie came out, and like I didn't see it because I said, yeah, okay, but it was one of those movies that like everybody was like,
Yeah.
it's really cool. And I had just heard so much about it, and this one guy that I knew that was like a friend of a friend was like, "Oh my god, it's the best movie!" And then I saw it, and just like they talk like a bunch of fucking morons, and it's not good. It's not a good movie. Why are you so obsessed with this? And then it spawned that whole thing where like I think one of those bands is playing here in the next couple weeks, like at the Grog Shop or something. Like there's one of those swing revival bands that's like coming through because we're
probably
now
big bad poppin' cherry daddy.
zippers. They're
It's this Thursday. It's the Squirrel Nut Zippers.
Oh, really?
There you
I would,
go.
I would
Yeah.
go. I would go see that. They're like they're weird. I like them. They're
There's-
a weird fucking band.
There are no squirrels, there are no nuts, and there might be some zippers, but either way, not for me. It's
The first time I ever heard them, I looked out in the window and I saw a squirrel dancing to it. So
All right, I guess I have
I'm,
to like this band.
I'm hooked.
I think we are barreling towards like a 90s nostalgia thing. Like every band for the last 3 years sounded like they just bought a Casio, like bands did in 1983. And I think we've ridden that wave, and now it's going to be like, hey man, Pavement is awesome.
Yeah,
and then there's going to be like the neo ska revival that morphs into.
Do you think someone's gonna shoot themselves this time around?
How so?
Like Kurt Cobain, man. Like if we're gonna do the '90s revival, it's got to hit it hard.
know- Unfortunately, people seem to be killing themselves okay with heroin anymore. So I don't know if it'll get to that point. When you put that,
Because that probably
I
would
mean,
have
we
killed.
just- I just
if,
think-
if the heroin that was out now was back in the 90s, that would have killed Kurt Cobain
Yeah.
well
Oh,
before
yeah.
he killed himself. So
we should have stopped.
We don't
when
even-
were
we
talking
don't even-
about older, louder, sadder.
I know.
I'm just curious as to how this version of the '90s revival will go.
Maybe whoever it is will use something. What's a more
Well,
modern?
right now, remember,
a shotgun.
remember
like,
Bill
guillotine.
Clinton? We have Donald Trump now, so it's like the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's a whole
no,
weird
yeah.
thing.
We have an '80s political system, but a '90s music uprising. Yeah.
And also,
Incredible.
if you're listening to this episode, rewind all the way to the beginning. Play a drinking game. Drink every time we say the word "daddy."
Daddy.
The word D-A.
that's what I've been doing this whole time.
D-A-D-D-Y or D-A-T-T-Y.
Either or,
Do you have to parse phonetics on this?
whatever you hear.
If it sounds
you
like
hear.
daddy,
one.
drink up, daddy.
You're
Oh,
so-
somebody just got so
that sounds-
drunk. They
that
just
sounds
tipped over
so-
the edge. Like
sounds so
they
money,
were like,
baby.
I almost made it through it.
Every time Pete questions
Oh,
something,
no.
chug.
And on that note, thank you for being a guest today, Wilson.
Oh, thanks for having me, man.
So I know you get involved in some comedy stuff and
Yeah.
some sketch stuff. So where can people find you on the internet, and what do you do?
Uh,
What are you doing to perpetuate your name forever?
I'm just looking for daddies. No. You could find me on Facebook on the internet if you want to. If I don't know you, I probably won't add you. So it's your loss.
Like
You're
a
late.
Twitter? Twitter is like pretty public.
I got a gram. I'm not a big Twitter guy because I don't.
Because you can't express yourself in 144 characters or
can't.
less.
I can't because I'm crazy.
Well, daddy is like 7 characters.
That'd be the one thing.
2, 3, 4, 5 characters. So putting that in 3 times, you're already eating.
Daddy.
Good
WilsonDaddy.com. That's your website.
My Instagram is Narzapan. So that's spelled like gnarly with Zapan at the end of it.
So with a G.
Yeah,
Silent G.
G-N-A-R. Zapan. Z-A-P-A-N.
Are you a fan of almond paste candy?
You can check out the Pizza Money Instagram too.
Yeah, what's this pizza money? Because
It's on your shirt.
and also one of my buddies who actually will be on next week, Sean Jaundice from Voodoo Monkey.
Yeah, he did
he
the
just
design,
got a
yeah.
shirt
Yeah.
from somebody, but he
He actually designed the logo.
Oh,
That's on
nice.
it.
Oh,
okay.
So
what is that? What
Which
is that?
is a pyramid.
it's the,
Oh my God! It all comes back together.
it's the Illuminati.
Gene and Chuck.
man.
It's Gene and Chuck.
Shit.
It's the Illuminati. I'm in the Illuminati, like Jay-Z.
So our producers are Gene and Chuck Illuminati.
I
The
went to school
Illuminati
with
brothers.
Uh,
I went to school with them in Rocky River.
the Illuminati.
But no, what is Pizza Money? What is this?
It's a sketch group. We write and perform live sketches. We also do some videos. So yeah, we do a show once a month at Mayhall's on a Sunday. Normally the earliest Sunday of that month. I think the next one is August 8th. Doors normally at 8 or 8:30. Show starts at 9. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. It's me, Walter Hemmergarn, Chad Weaver, James Earl Brasfield, and Ryan DePerna.
Something the
Bob
whole
Seeholzer.
family can go to?
Bob Seeholzer as well. I think the whole family can go to it. I'd rather not.
Yeah, I don't think Mayhall's will kick you out. That's Mayhall's 20 Lanes in Lakewood, Ohio.
Or as some of you know it is, Mahal's.
You can also catch me sometimes helping out at Jimmy Graham's show at Modern Kicks on Wednesdays. I help him out with that sometimes.
And that's at
that's the Winchester
now?
right? Yeah.
yeah, the old
I
new
haven't
Winchester.
made it up to that
Yes.
since you guys moved over there. But
It was
me too.
Winchester, then the Bevy, then Winchester.
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which is actually it's really nice.
It is.
That's
Well,
a
I mean, that's just
gorgeous
it's just a nice
building.
place.
It's
Yeah,
such
it's
a
a
great
place.
place.
They did,
Yeah.
they did some redesign, but other than that, like you really didn't.
One of the
touch too much
first
on
comedy shows I went to in Cleveland was Jim Two's recording his first album there.
that.
I
Yeah.
think Mike Polk recorded an album the same night. Bill Squire may have recorded an album the same night. And Chet Zumach was there.
What
Chad Zoo.
that at the like
Yes.
one after the other? Like
Yeah.
they just
They did 2 nights and they set it up to record and it was like they all did sets and then I think they chopped Jim's album that he recorded that night.
You have
was called
to
A
listen to
Reference
Jim's
My
album
Hat.
to hear Bill, and then you have to listen to
Yeah.
Bill's to hear.
and if you put him on and put on the Wizard of Oz at the same time and watch them in a row.
You have to put him 4 record
Dude,
players.
I wish
in
I
this
was listening
corner
to Pink
of the room.
Floyd, and I hate Pink Floyd. God damn it! Wow, that's a pretty deep bench. I know a lot of the guys involved with that, and they're
Yeah,
they're
no.
funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're all. It's a lot of fun. We all do a lot of dumb shit together, and it's fun working with them and just putting on a show that normally doesn't go on
Well,
in the comedy scenes in Cleveland, at least.
There's not a lot of sketch.
There's
There's some, but
Yeah.
it's mostly stand up.
it's mostly, and I think a lot of the other sketches, like anything pertaining to sketches, mostly improv. Like you got Last Call Cleveland with Polk and
Right.
stuff. You get that. Do Sad Boy Social Club as well. That
hmm
has recently came up.
stop naming your competitors.
It's okay.
I want them to know that I'm watching.
Yeah,
that
Sad
I'm
Boy has
prepared.
former
I know.
guest George Dunn in
I
it,
know,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
So it all ties together.
But Pizza Money is directly tied with the Illuminati. So
So it's like you're 3
Will
steps.
they boost this podcast? We're looking for some Illuminati like attention.
Horchie, we've gotten mentioned on Nerdist and Doug Loves Movies through accidents. So
And I
maybe
heard
it's already happened.
The real Eric Kaplan started following you on Twitter.
oh wow.
Yeah, how did you know that?
The fake Eric Kaplan told me.
How did he know that? No, I'm just kidding. No, how did you know that?
I don't know. Actually, Mike told me about it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I'm
that's weird.
horribly confused. And
Eric Kaplan from Futurama started
Eric,
following me
Eric
randomly.
Linus Kaplan?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I see. And Eric Kaplan.
Eric Sean Kaplan is his middle name.
Okay. On that note,
And it's Sean Eric Robinson, which is weird.
we can be found at slurmcast.com. All of our episodes are listed there, along with links to our TeePublic t-shirt shop. We would love for you, to buy t-shirts from it because we get money, but if you have designs for Slurmcast, Futurama, or any other cool shit, we can put it into our shop so you can make some money too. We can be...
All it takes is like a design, and
Yeah,
they
just
will
a-
print. They print as they sell.
Yes.
And if you have a cool design, people will buy it. I will buy it.
Sure, if it's cool enough.
Yes.
As long as it's black and involves white ink, Tom will buy it.
Yes. And it says
We can be found on Facebook. We can be found on Twitter and Instagram at slurmcastpod. We can be emailed at slurmcastpod@gmail.com. You can call or text us, voicemails and or dick pics at 216-438-1077. I think that's every. Rate and review us in iTunes, please.
Did I say August 8th or August 6th?
I think you said 8th.
Yeah.
Which
I
one
meant
is it?
6th.
Okay.
August 6th, pizza money.
I think this will be out before.
You also
then,
might have
too.
said 6. I don't know.
I
I'm
think
kind
I
of
said
buzzed.
it should be out before that.
I think it'll be funny if this comes
Yeah,
out
this
on
will be
like
out
August
before that,
10th,
yeah.
and then it's just like, fuck you, Wilson.
Just like everybody listened to it, and they're like, "You idiot!" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Oh, I would have gone to that. That sounded pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's it. Do you have anything else?
Futurama will be on Hulu
In a few weeks.
Maybe by the time this episode comes out,
Yeah.
you might be on already, which is cool.
If you want,
If you're playing-
if
hey,
you need a
also-
Hulu, just Pete's password for his Hulu is Pete Daddy.
1077.
But we're not going to tell you if it's with D's or T's.
No. Also, if you guys have been playing the Futurama
Worlds of Tomorrow
iOS
game?
game, Worlds of Tomorrow game, send us a text or call us and let us know what you think about it so far. I've been playing it a bit. I don't know if anybody else has, but it's I'm curious to see what other people think about it.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can find me at @rhorchie on Twitter. Send me pictures of your qubits.
Good night.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to neuter and spay your pets.
I already stopped the recording.